Heather Hewitt's story soon, but first there'll be no party in the Lodge tonight to mark the anniversary of Julia Gillard's rise to power. A year on, the Prime Minister stands lower in the polls than the man she dispatched. To recover, Julia Gillard needs to deliver on the government's many big promises. And on that mission, she had rare good news today. The National Broadband Network has settled an $11 billion deal with Telstra. Political editor Chris Uhlmann.
A year ago, almost to the minute, Julia Gillard made a remarkable journey that had been flagged a half hour earlier.
Several government sources have told the ABC that MPs are being sounded out about a possible move against the Prime Minister.
I was elected by the people of Australia to do a job.
By the following morning, it would end in tears for one and smiles for the other. But a year on, Julia Gillard's finding little joy in the anniversary.
I'll be working, thanks very much.
Will you celebrate it all?
Each and every day I go about working as Prime Minister, and I'll be doing that tomorrow.
And one among many of the weights of office is a high-profile foreign minister.
I've got to be in Parliament in 15 minutes, that's how I feel.
Another is a buoyant opposition.
Julie, of course, is my friend and colleague. You've probably noticed that Julie and I have regular conversations with each other. There's no tension, there's no chill, there's no playing no speaks.
At least today there was something concrete to talk about, as a project launched by one Prime Minister.
This new, super-fast national broadband network
was landed by another.
I'm determined that we deliver super-fast broadband around our nation. I'm determined that we build the national broadband network.
The government-owned National Broadband Network has signed an $11 billion deal with Telstra that was 2 years in the making. That pays for renting the exchanges and underground ducts for 35 years as Telstra effectively shifts all its fixed-line customers to the NBN. Without the deal, the government venture would probably have foundered.
We in NBN Co will be using a substantial amount of Telstra's facilities, and in so doing we will be able to build the NBN more efficiently.
Another $800 million was handed to Optus to shut down its cable network, snuffing out all competition to the new national broadband network. While there will be only one wholesaler, the retail competition between the telcos is so fierce that there had to be 2 press conferences.
We say yes to competition and yes to high-speed broadband.
The deal now has to be ticked off by shareholders and the competition watchdog. The end point is creating a wholesale monopoly in broadband, and it makes the coalition's job of unwinding it tough.
The opposition leader, Tony Abbott, said to Malcolm Turnbull his job was to destroy the national broadband network. So I anticipate that the opposition will go to the next election saying they'll dig the cables out of the ground. I anticipate they'll go to the next election saying, let's stay in the past.
Well, that's nonsense. That is hyperbole, or a hyperbole, as she would say, even by her standards. The reality is that we are committed to maximising the use and the productivity of every Commonwealth asset, and if the government spends money on NBN infrastructure, on cables or electronic equipment, we'll endeavour to get good value for taxpayers out of it.
There is an out clause in the contract.
The government has negotiated a one-off break fee, which would reach a maximum of $500 million only after the fibre rollout reaches 20% of premises and then would decline thereafter.
You know, that is the problem, that we've had a contractual negotiation where Telstra's been representing its commercial interests, Stephen Conroy's been representing his political interests, and the taxpayers of Australia and the broadband consumers of Australia have not been represented at the table, and that's why they're getting a raw deal.
But Parliament was disconnected from broadband. There, the coalition was commemorating what some call Assassination Day.
A real Prime Minister who has been cut down by a politician who turned out to be very good at executing her party leader, but has turned out to be hopeless at actually running the country.
Almost everyone in Labor agrees that things look grim at the moment, but there's no sign that Julia Gillard will share her predecessor's fate.
But we know we've got a Prime Minister who's working hard, who's got a plan for the future, and we're right behind her.